Hey everybody, I'm Shane Ireland.
I'm Alan Britt.
I'm Steve Mobby.
And I'm Andy Wyke.
Welcome to another episode of Mystery Review, Holiday Edition.
Holiday edition.
It's December, it's chilly.
Yeah.
Other stuff's going on.
I love it.
Yeah. Steve's the only one with like even a remotely holiday shirt on.
I mean,
That's why
I feel like
that's why I'm wearing
I feel like
it.
sweaters count. Sweaters
Yeah,
don't
I
count.
feel like you're kind of dissing.
I mean,
the-
red flannel
the,
is
sweater
like
game.
the holiday motif.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
yeah.
like sweaters, like Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, in certain areas, I think
Yeah.
that's true. Like, yeah.
I think you're the only one that's not.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take that.
I'm trying to.
I don't know. Champion seems like a holiday brand to me.
It is.
Like it seems
is.
like
the kind of brand that you used to get from your parents.
Yeah.
Like, I
when you
feel like-
would have preferred not to have gotten clothes.
I feel like Papa Noel.
Papa Noel.
Papa Noel is like doing the whole like Rocky training routine in the North Pole, wearing some champion gear. You know what I mean?
This
He's
is
pulling the
actually
sled through the snow.
There's like
oldest
30 years of
clothing.
sweat stains on the pits and stuff. You know,
This is the oldest article of clothing I own.
vintage.
I've had this since like high school.
The old, yeah, I was
looks
gonna
really
say
comfy.
the oldest article of clothing I have is a T-shirt that I got when I was a junior in high school. So it's 23 years old, 24 years old.
Do you guys find stuff like that is like just hard to throw away? Like even if it's like tattered and has holes in it
No.
and stuff.
Well,
No?
I mean, I guess I must because it is definitely tattered and ripped, and I haven't thrown it away yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's comforting.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Comforting. So pipe.
So yeah, that's an interesting start to this
Yeah.
conversation.
Micah Cryder, our Inquisitor for this month. You may
Yeti pipes.
Yeah, shout out
you may
Yeti.
better know him as Yeti. In my opinion, Micah is maybe the most insane pipe maker on the planet.
That's a high bar, man.
I mean,
That's a
there are a
very
lot of
high bar.
crazy.
You would have to
ones.
categorize.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
kind of
I-
insane
Let me
are you?
clarify.
Yeah.
Clinically insane.
Clinically insane.
Yeah.
Well, because he's a Lord of the Rings fan. You're like, I don't get into that nerd stuff.
No, I think.
What you're talking about
What
is
an introduction to our
I know. What Alan is referencing, I think, is the lengths to which Cryder is willing to go
Yeah.
for his craft.
Yeah.
I think that
And that's
that
valid.
in terms of finishing and tooling and pretty much everything else involved in the craft, many other well-seasoned pipe makers would look at what Yeti does and his dedication to sort of striving for that perfection and say why.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself? But I definitely, I think all of us definitely respect that drive
Yeah.
to keep pushing forward. And in the last decade, at least, I don't think anybody has made a name for themselves in terms of
Yeah.
their fit and finish as much as Yeti
And
has.
I think his answer to why would be the
Because.
end result. Like it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and even the progression of. So, to preface that, going back and looking at early pieces from Micah, so pipe 200, 300, and they're still phenomenal. But the progression from pipe 200 to now pipe 1100 is on, close to that. It's incredible. I haven't seen a pipe of Yetis and held one in hand that I wasn't absolutely mind blown at how perfect it was.
Yeah.
I really like Mike as a person. I like his work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hopefully he didn't screw me for saying
We're about
all these
to
nice
like
things.
him less.
We're about to like it after this video.
I mean, we did introduce him as clinically insane.
Well, one of us did.
Yeah, don't.
Do you guys want to vote on who's clinically insane on this panel?
Yeah.
No, Micah's super talented. Yeah, his smooth finishes they're like glass, man.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah.
they're so crisp.
It's a signature that instantly, like, lit from
You can tell from
literally
across
It's
the
across
one of
room.
the
You can
most
tell from across the
recognizable signatures out there.
And even now, the super fun stuff he's doing with resin that he teamed up with Eldritch on. I just think, in my personal opinion, he's doing some of the most interesting and most intricate stuff in pipe making, and I just love his work.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go, Micah. I said a lot of nice things about you.
Alan's just
Right after
angling for
saying
a
you were
free pipe.
clinically
Yeah.
insane.
I'll take a discount on a split.
There you go.
So, what has Cryder given
What has he
us.
done to us?
I'm actually pretty stoked about this because unlike an English blend in the dead of summer,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good.
I've actually been looking forward to this since we were alerted that we needed a Latakia pipe, and it's very good. It is not disappointing. There was something about it in the bag note that seemed really familiar to me, not just the sort of typical woody and smoky and kind of earthy English notes. There's a sweetness that I feel like I can get even just in the aroma. The cold draw, I don't know if any of you guys bothered to cold draw. It was very sort of like fruity and sweet. The cut has me thrown for a loop here.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
could
that
be-
was what I was initially taken aback by.
I was thinking C&D, but I'm honestly not so sure. Some of these ribbons are long and like slender
ribbon is so much more difficult.
to identify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I see a rubbed out cake or a rubbed out flake, I feel like it's much easier to tell if it's German or English or C&D, and man, ribbons are tough. But yeah, it's fairly mild as well. Like I wouldn't consider this a full flavored English by any means.
It seems somewhat Oriental forward
Yeah.
on the initial little puffs.
Yeah, it's sort of peppery. There's
I'm
some.
getting some tingle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Balkan Sasani, but with like a little bit more sweetness.
God, I haven't smoked it. I haven't smoked Balkan Sasini in a crazy long time. Like a really, really long time.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever smoked Sasini, which is maybe blasphemy, but
It's good. It's very peppery. I don't feel like it's sort of a drier English, more
Yeah,
Oriental
and
forward.
I get where you're coming from. I'm not getting quite as much pepper as I think that I would from Sasini, or that I remember from the last time that I smoked it. Anyway, it has been a few.
Yeah, it's not quite as peppery, I don't think.
super fruity though.
That's what I get. That's what I'm getting.
Super
Yeah.
fruity.
There is some spice, like on the retrohale, the
Yes.
side stream. I can pick
Yeah.
it up as well, but
But I remember Sasini being more pronounced.
more pronounced.
At
yeah.
least the last time I
I
smoked.
seriously don't. It's been so long. I don't even think I could guess or recall.
Yeah, it's been a few years for me too, and my memory is not great at the best of times.
What?
Who are you guys?
Who said that?
Who are you guys?
Who said that?
Welcome back to the episode.
Yeah, it's kind of tasty. And so
I think it's very good.
Yep.
the more I smoke it, the more I'm confused of if this is German or American.
My initial gut feeling was not C&D.
I was kind of leaning towards one of the Peterson / Old
Same.
Dunhill blends,
Interesting.
and I'm just not sure.
The cut is weird. Like there's pieces of it that definitely remind me of some of the Peterson
Danish
blends.
production,
Yeah,
English mixtures, yeah.
but then there's also like I don't know, like some larger pieces that don't really seem like that.
The finish for me is like almost a cigar quality.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
very
not
creamy.
saying there's like cigar leaf in it,
Yeah.
but the lingering on the palate is
The way
almost
it- yeah.
cigar-like for me, which I don't personally get a lot from pipe tobacco.
Where do you feel it in your palate?
Mid-tongue.
Mid-tongue.
Dead.
It's pretty dense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's black cap.
I mean,
There's a lot of body. There's a
I'm-
lot of smoke.
there's a-
lot of
yes,
smoke.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's
very
dense.
body
There's a lot of
smoke.
body.
Yeah.
the pepper that I'm getting through the nose has me thinking Perique.
For sure.
More than just the Orientals. Even though you can visibly see quite a lot of Oriental leaf in here. Like, look at all these pieces that are kind of
Yeah.
Some green boys.
yeah, like a little on the greener brown side.
Pass one of those pipe cleaners if you don't mind. Thank you, sir.
Bring your own equipment, Alan. As I steal Andy's lighter.
Andy's lighter. I literally made a 15-minute trip out of the way to go grab a tamper because I didn't have one. And then I grabbed a tamper that was way too big for this pipe. It doesn't work.
Pretty cool tamper though.
Oh, it's a blacket.
Yeah, yeah.
In my opinion, some of the best tampers on the market.
Oh, yeah.
If not the best.
Yeah,
My personal
I
favorite.
absolutely love his stuff.
Yeah. Bill Shalotsky, close second.
Whatever this is,
Yeah,
it's
Bill's
per-
doing some really cool stuff
Yeah.
too.
World acclaimed tamper maker, Bill Shalotsky.
Fortnite.
Kind of crazy he hasn't made any 4-night tampers yet.
Yeah.
I mean, the pieces you get are pretty small. I suppose that's why.
Like a composite Fortnite tamper.
Yeah.
Sick though.
Actually, that would be sick.
Pressed
Yeah.
Fordite.
What were you saying, Andy?
It's performing super well. I don't think I've relit once.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I
moisture,
have
moisture
a-
content's perfect. Packs really easily. It's yet another reason why I've always said that, like, you know, I think many of us got our start as aromatic smokers. You know, that's what you want. You want that nice aroma,
Yeah.
and you smell those jars that have all the aromatic tobaccos, and you're like, oh, this is great. And then you realize that, or you should realize pretty quickly that it requires a decent amount of skill as a pipe smoker and experience to really get the most out of those blends.
Yeah.
But especially when I'm feeling lazy, and this time of year is a great time to do it, English blends are just so low maintenance, so easy to enjoy, easy to pack. They're super forgiving of technique, smoking technique, packing technique, just versatile blends.
And they're much more, apropos of being more forgiving. They're just more consistent. Like you're going to get the same smoking experience every time you smoke in English.
Apropos.
apropos.
God, what is this? It's so familiar.
So, Virginia's
Yeah, definitely Oriental.
Oriental.
Obviously,
Yeah, for
some
sure.
Latakia.
Latakia.
I'm almost positive.
Maybe
on
Black
Free.
Cag.
I'm pretty.
I mean, are we looking at Nightcap?
That was my guess. It doesn't look dark enough
Yeah.
overall for me.
It doesn't
but then
feel as strong.
It doesn't feel as strong. What other similar?
Because EMP doesn't have Perique, right?
No, definitely not. And if it wasn't for all that sort of like pepper on the retro hill, I would be more thinking along the lines of early morning, which was my favorite of the Dunhill / Peterson
It's
ones.
very nice, yeah.
All right. I liked London mixture and I liked the early morning the most. Like the sort of like more Oriental forward.
I mean, I've always been a Nightcap boy.
I know. Yeah. Since we met.
Yeah.
Me too. I do love a good nightcap. So the more I smoke it, the more I lean C&D.
I think it's the Perique.
It might be the Free.
Like, there's like a fruity, like stone fruit thing.
Yeah. But I'm
just
getting
feels
more
like-
and more pepper on the retro hill as it smokes.
Yeah, I
down.
agree. That is becoming more prominent for me too.
When's the last time any of y'all smoked McConnell's Scottish blend?
Oh,
Oh,
never.
been a while.
Scotch flake.
Been a
Is
while.
that different than Scottish blend?
Yes.
Very different.
Yes.
Scottish blend is a Scottish blend.
Okay.
It's an English. It's
Never.
an English with Perique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a number of years for me.
Also the Oriental. McConnell's Oriental is a sleeper.
Yeah.
I'm also pretty sure that like Micah is a big fan
He's a Rattray's guy.
of Rattrays. So I'm thinking
Specifically Marlin Flake though.
Marlin Flake. Yeah, but like
Red Rappery.
Red Rappery,
Which
like
this isn't.
Black Mallory, which I don't think this is.
I don't think this is either of those, but there's a million other ones.
Yeah.
Right.
There's professionals and jocks and accountants.
So I have a very. I don't smoke enough English just to have like near the just portfolio of Englishes
Yep.
to draw from experience. So what I have the most experience with is like Drucker's English blends. Blair Gallery.
Can't be this though. Lord Gowry's a ready rub.
Then it would not be Blair Gallery. You're right.
Also, like I'm pretty familiar with Blair Gowry.
Yeah.
I smoked through I think all of the old Drucker's blends when they came back out, and I'm pretty sure I did tasting notes for all of them. Oh my God, it's so hard to remember which one's which. I can't remember if it's Inns of Court or... No, it's either... Isn't there like Prince's? Like a
Prince's Own.
Prince's Own.
The Devil's Own.
The Devil's Own.
Devil's Own is what I'm thinking of.
But there's a Devil
Prince's
one and a
Own.
Prince one.
Yeah.
And I want to say Devil, Prince, and Inns of Court, I recalled being relatively familiar, like relatively similar. Like I think they had Perique in them and whatever. Blair Gowry's for sure a Ready Rub though.
So I believe it's a Scottish blend, Virginia Perique Oriental, and why is my brain not working? Yeah, Virginia Perique Oriental Latakia. But I've probably smoked that one the most. But there's a full-bodiedness to it. It just feels American, baby.
What else?
Yeah,
It just feels American.
No, I'm sort of leaning in that direction too, Alan.
it's kind of super interesting. To me, it was so mild to start, and just the further I smoke down, the more spice, more body.
It's definitely developing.
Yeah.
Does he even know if like Micah's into peas at all?
I don't know.
I mean, who isn't? But I mean,
Yeah, I
right,
don't know.
Right.
Who isn't? I'm into peas.
Dude, it's I don't think this is a thread worth pulling, but when you said that, Andy, I had like a Maltese Falcon flashback a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's not what this is. But there are some of those sweet and fruity notes that are kind of like ringing that bell.
Yeah, I could see that. I've got some experience with Maltese Falcon too, but
Westminster.
Maltese has got a little saucy sauce on it, right?
I honestly don't remember. I mean, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
I think it might be one of the components, though, and not necessarily a sauce.
This doesn't feel sauced.
I don't know. There might be like a casing,
Yeah.
like maybe some.
Worcestershire.
I was thinking rum.
I'm not getting anything boozy.
Really?
It is
Personally,
like,
I didn't
no.
smell the bag yet.
it is fairly moist, but like, yeah, I don't.
No, it's just woody.
Yeah.
Super woody.
What are you?
What are you?
Tell me your name. Jeez. Yeah, I'm like halfway through the bowl. Don't even know the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is hard.
Man, I don't know.
Is there Perique? Damn it.
There's gotta be.
I'm
Perique.
still pretty confident there is.
There's
Yeah.
Perique.
Yeah, I'm just second guessing myself.
No, I can see it. There's also Red Virginias.
Where's the Perique?
I synced it. No, there just has to be. If there's not Perique, this is the wrongest wrong I've ever
Right.
wronged.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
pretty
like that.
confident.
I mean, I'm pretty confident too. Let's find out.
Ready to burn it?
I know we haven't talked about this yet, but that's a pretty sweet pipe you got there, sir.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. The stereo.
It's very nice.
Me too.
Pretty nice.
The P-Wit.
Oh, no, no, really? Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
You want to talk about pipes?
Well, we know what they are.
Yeah.
Like it's the only thing we're sure of
I
here.
think it's not a mystery.
This is a pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a pipe.
We know which pipes we're smoking.
Yeah. I mean, there's a decent chance you have an stereo on you anytime we do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
yeah, there's
you're
a
not
decent chance.
incorrect. You're not incorrect.
But I pulled out one of my deep cuts, which is like a favorite English pipe of mine. It's this sandblasted strawberry wood Lavat that Chris made in 2018. I could have picked something that might have smoked a little more neutrally, but I really love the way Englishes perform in olive wood. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've never tried the
just,
combination
they
before.
just it brings out a lot of sweetness, or at least that's what I perceive.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just a sick pipe.
Yeah, just
yeah.
aesthetically, I love sandblasted olive wood.
I think the only olive wood type I've ever had was like a Yakano.
Same.
I actually ended up with several. I have like an Eltang Devil Ants olive wood.
Really?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
That's
That's
pretty
awesome. Yeah.
It doesn't smell like Perique to me. That might be calf.
cool. Yeah.
I am smoking a little Jared Cole's acorny thing.
Acorn fish.
Yeah, half blasted, half smooth, with a Juma stem. Yeah, Jared makes really, really cool stuff. To me, he combines a lot of influences together.
There's no gold on it though, so I don't believe it's Jared.
Yeah. Jared would have.
He puts the gold inside under the bowl coating.
This is like,
Okay. Yeah, I got my little Mike Sebastian Bay here.
Oh yeah.
Which I have. One of my like favorite interactions with a pipe maker ever was Mike Bay at Vegas this year. You know, I was talking to him, like seeing how the trip in was and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh, you know, what have you been doing since you've, you know, been here in Vegas?
Oh, I had this conversation with him too.
And he was like, I went out into the desert and I shot the big 50 caliber machine gun. And then we went out to breakfast and I ate a pancake that was this big. And I was like,
America.
oh, so like you came to America and you shot a machine gun and you ate too much food. And he looked at me like straight face, like being completely serious. And he goes, well, when you're traveling, it's important to take in the local culture of the country you're visiting. And I was like, all right, so eat too much food and shoot a machine gun. America.
and you were like, that's my breakfast. That's awesome.
And every time I'm in Denmark, I eat pickled herring and I get free healthcare.
Yeah, take in the local culture.
Yeah. I get all my cancer screens. All my yearly trips to Denmark.
But Andy, speaking of that being my breakfast, when I was at the Texas show a few weeks ago, guy came up to the table and he was like, talk about being a fan of the mystery reviews, and mentioned that he was either a professor or had majored in continental philosophy.
Oh, interesting.
And so, I had to ask him, when we did this review a few months ago and we were talking about continental philosophy, I was like, did Andy get it right? Like, did he explain that correctly in the distinction between the schools of philosophy?
Well, thank you for fact checking.
Did you record the guy's answer?
No, his answer was literally no. Would not elaborate. It's just like, no, he was wrong. But
to be fair, like, it was a 5-minute mention. Like,
You've continental your last philosophy.
It's far more,
But like, this guy came up to the table and it was kind of like a busy moment of the show, so I had to like step away and do something real quick. We didn't get to really finish the conversation. But the last thing
what was there to say?
The last thing that he said before I stepped away was he just had he said checklist style, continental philosophy, ribs for breakfast. And I was like, all right, I like this guy.
That is philosophy.
I'm only here.
I thought you were going to say he was a professor of ribs for breakfast in the beginning of this story.
It would have made sense given the Texas pipe show. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, he was like, I'm here to do two things: philosophize and have ribs for breakfast. And I'm all out of philosophy.
That should be a T-shirt.
That should be.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is a C&D product.
Yeah, I'm coming around to that.
I think it's fresh. I don't think there's any age here.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he told us to pull something off the shelf and didn't send in anything. I'm starting to feel like this is Turkish Latakia.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but the Latakia is super floral and fruity, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't think there's necessarily a small portion of Latakia in here. I think it's a medium-sized portion relative to the rest of the blend.
But it's really mellow.
It's super mellow.
Yep.
I'm getting not a lot of woody, even though it's woody as hell in the sort of tin note here, the bag note. I'm not getting a ton of woody notes in the flavor.
It doesn't feel like Cyprian.
It doesn't feel smoky, really.
Yeah.
It's more earthy and floral, and the Virginias, the sweetness, and what we still think is Perique are coming through far more than the Latakia itself. So it's either a pretty low percentage of Latakia, or it's a Latakia that is not as dark fire process forward.
Yeah, I can see that. Listen, what does that make this?
Well, it could be
Are you
about
100% sure Blair Gallery's not a ribbon?
I mean, we can look it up. I don't think that's against the rules, but I'm pretty damn sure.
Fact checkers?
They're like, no,
Yeah.
we're not back.
No help. No help.
Do your own work.
Yeah.
No, I'm like 99% sure it's Ready Rub.
Do we have tins of drug? We don't.
No, I don't think
Dang, get it together, Marty and Kevin. No druckers on the wall.
Keep all of the tobaccos right behind us,
Right.
so that we can reference them.
We
during
need like
these.
all
so. Yeah, keep
500.
an open tin of everything too.
Yeah. My mind's just going there because that's the only experience I really have with those blends is Devil's Own, Blair Gallery, and Loch Ness, which I smoked those two quite a lot.
Yeah.
When I first got into Englishes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like
Make a
actually
real
guess.
guess. I know.
I think it's a C&D made product. I think that there are bright Virginias, red Virginias, Oriental,
Perique, Latakia.
Latakia, maybe Black Calf.
Kitchen sink.
Balance.
Yeah,
A balanced
complexity and
melange.
balance.
Melange is that's a good marketing term. Balanced melange.
Yeah, I would lean towards there being Black Calf.
It's just got a lot of
It's got a lot of body.
mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's got a lot of body.
It's really good. I feel like particularly like this is pretty early in the morning, and
I'm
like,
pretty pumped about it
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It's it definitely is in line with like what I prefer from English mixtures. It's a lot of complexity. Like
Yeah.
Latakia is not super forward. Like the dark fruit notes, the earthiness, the floral stuff, especially the floral stuff. I had a period of a couple of minutes there where I felt like I couldn't taste the Perique at all, and now when I retrohale, like
Yeah, I had the exact same experience.
my shit's like
I
lit
thought
up.
I was
Straight
gaslighting
wasabi.
myself.
Uh-huh.
Like, where did the Perique go? And then it came back.
Where
user error.
you go.
Where did the Perique go?
You in there, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess officially Blair Gallery or Trafalgar, whichever one is a ribbon.
I don't think either of them are.
Alan is still just not believing
Maybe
you.
Trafalgar is.
If neither of them are a ribbon, then I guess nothing. A Drucker's English, which I think is all of them.
Yeah.
So Drucker's.
What do we know about Cryder? Which English blend is the shiniest?
Oh man. Yeah, those are Drucker's are rather dull tins for a
Yeah.
Yeti.
I mean, Silver Jubilee's foiled
For a young Yeti.
but that doesn't have.
It's not. It's not this. Yeah.
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 He wouldn't have known it existed
Yeah.
either by the time that he picked it.
What's a loud label?
What other Englishes are there that are made by C&D for other brands? Pete's Beard.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
No, no way.
Pete's Beard.
I mean, there's stuff in the Low Country line.
Yeah. Santee or not Santee. Cooper.
I remember Cooper being brighter though.
Yeah. Yeah. It's much less heavy on the Perique.
I mean, there's like,
Very smooth.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many awesome deep cuts in the Peas line.
Yeah.
But it's just
like
I
a
don't-
crazy amount.
I don't even. I wouldn't even really know.
Yeah. Speaking of Jared.
Well, it's not quite Nice Meridian.
No, it's
Chelsea Morning.
I don't think it's any of the ones you would think.
Yeah, the old London series.
Jared bought a tin
Thinking
of
like maybe Fog City or something, but
Fox
oof.
City.
Is there
I have very, very little.
everything
Fox
in the
City
Fog City collection that I'm super into have been like the Virginia stuff,
Fillmore.
Fillmore, Embarcadero,
Yeah.
even Telegraph and Laurel Heights. Like that. I don't. Is there like a real? I don't know if there's like a real proper English in the Fog City collection. Is there? There's a couple of things that have like some whispers in it, but
I think there is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Your stuff could be proper English. Just word association.
Alan's just
he's
whatever
just
you
saying.
say, I'm gonna
that-
guess
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, officially.
It's either a Rattrees blend, a C&D blend, a Peterson blend. It's
Yeah.
got to be one of those. Actually, maybe it's
It may
not.
or may not have Perique and or
made on
Black
Earth.
Cavendish.
God, this one, I find this one extremely frustrating. Englishes are always tough, but there's like a serious lack of context clues with this guy.
I really enjoy it. That's the only thing I'm positive of. I like I've grown to appreciate an English with a a heavy-handed dose of Perique. Awakened Elder, one of my personal favorites.
Also, too, I thought this was familiar, and like the more I smoke it, the more I'm not sure that it is familiar to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it has changed on me several times.
It's dynamic for even for an English mixture.
So, playing more to the Inquisitor than to the blend, my official guess is that this is Old Toby from the South Farthing. Micah somehow got a hookup.
It is clouding our thinking.
It has definitely slowed my mind.
Yes, it has. Okay.
Potatoes.
Are we ready? What's taters, precious? Are we ready to find out how wrong we are?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
find
let's do
out.
It's not even in English?
I'm not even confident.
It's not even.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, hello. I was reached out to by the excellent team at smokingpipes.com, and they wanted me to be an Inquisitor, not the Spanish kind, thankfully, because it is Christmas. So I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm Micah Cryder of Yeti Pipe. I make pipes, as you can see, one at a time, handcrafted. And what tobacco would I choose? Well, we've had snow lately, and when it's cold, I don't really want a Virginia Perique or a straight Virginia. I want something warm, something that's going to have peat and smoke, English blends are really what I'm looking for. So I've been smoking a lot of GLP's Quiet Nights, and that's been really good. I love how full-bodied and rich it is, and all the flavors that they talk about that I struggle to identify, but it does taste nice. I don't have a tin of that though, and that seems lame for a video like this. So instead, I chose Peterson, not Dunhill, Peterson Mixture 965. And this is another excellent English, and I love it. I smoke it all the time, and be curious to see if they can identify it. Thank you.
I honestly thought 965.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So when we were talking about well, you did talk about Cavendish a lot.
Yeah.
When we were talking about Cavendish, it crossed my mind as well, and I ruled it out the same way I ruled out Black Mallory. What the hell is making? Like, where is this spice coming from?
There's no Perique in 965?
No.
You're joking.
No.
That's why I ruled it out, because I was 100% confident that
On the Perique. These Orientals that zesty.
It could be.
Like,
Must be.
It must be.
Must be.
And that's honestly, I don't remember. I remember 965 being far, far smoother, less spicy. Yes, the body. Yes, to some of the sweetness. What the hell?
So I'm like personally enamored at when I first started smoking a pipe, I bought 3 tobaccos, an aromatic, a Virginia, and an English. The English was 965. It was the first English I ever smoked. And I hated it. Turns out
Thanks a lot, Micah.
years later,
Making him relive that trauma.
965 is super tasty. I personally am taking this as a lesson in how your palate develops and changes over the years. Because I remember being like, ugh, gross.
I mean,
Yucky.
I've smoked tons of 965 over the years. It wasn't in my regular rotation, or hasn't been in a long time. This is very different than what I remember, and far more complex than what I remember.
Yeah.
Every pipe smoker, especially when you're exposed to English blends for the first time, you latch on to one of those Dunhill, now Peterson mixtures, and kind of stay there forever. You know what I mean? And Early Morning Pipe was mine. Like, I smoked a lot of London Mixture as well, which is defunct now, but like Andy Nightcap, you know what I mean? Like, I knew a ton of guys, especially a lot of the collectors that have been in the game for a long time. 965 was a staple among like so many of those smokers that I kind of learned from and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just, early morning and skiff mixture were the directions that I went in, and I kind of just like stayed there.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I messed with like Elizabethan for a while.
Well, it's not in English, but yeah.
But those were like the 2 that I really went for. And Flake, I mean.
Yeah, light flake, yeah. Flake.
But yeah, 965. I totally just honestly, I did not even think about it.
I just
sort of forgot it existed.
I have dismissed it as sort of a middle of the road, like, you know, workhorse of a blend, but that in my recollection of it, that lacked some of the complexity and some of the like Oriental forward notes that I preferred from other Englishes. I also remember it being more Latakia forward than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is
This
is
was
damn good.
pretty good and crippling defeat.
Yeah. I love how our Inquisitor videos are getting better and better. Like the quality. Like Shane's Halloween one was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeti
once you
came
do
hard as well.
Like once you do a multi-scene hot dog clip, like, you just really
Yeah,
can't.
you set the bar.
Like, you set the bar pretty high.
I didn't even watch how it turned out in the end. Actually,
it was
good.
phenomenal.
I just
Yeah,
sent
it
it
was
all.
really-
I sent it all to
good.
Chris and was like, "Do it."
phenomenal.
I trust Chris. He'll take it.
Yeah.
Although Chris did warn me before this video that he was going to make me look stupid, so I usually do a good job of that on my own.
I mean, I really think Micah made that happen.
Yeah, Micah definitely
Contributed.
made me look stupid.
Well, thanks, Cryder.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the very, very high shine pipes and for participating in our mystery review to end the year.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. And yeah, honestly, thanks for making me revisit something
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
not
super
revisited
good.
in a long time.
Thanks for giving me a really good first thing in the morning smoke.
That's the trade-off, I think, for us looking like dumbasses once
Every
a month.
week. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take it.
I think that's the trade-off. Is like we get to smoke things that we normally wouldn't pick up or don't pick up often,
Yeah.
and like find new favorites and remember old
Revisit
favorites.
things that we smoked years ago. Yeah.
It makes the being wrong and embarrassment and all the shame I feel when I go to sleep at night worth.
It's a really fun exercise. I would even encourage,
is,
like,
yeah.
you know, if you guys have a pipe club, like this is a great thing to do at a pipe club event.
Don't get your hopes up that you're going to be accurate, but the more
really-
you do this,
yeah, it really
the more you
helps
can trust
develop your
taste.
palate
Yeah.
and identify. Like it's like an act of mindfulness in a lot of ways. It
Yeah.
makes you really present.
Yeah.
Makes you like pick up on things you might have missed. So
And you
give it
get
a
to-
try.
And you get to embarrass your friends when you pick the blend. They can't get
That's
rid
You
of
can
it.
talk about ribs for breakfast and continental philosophy.
That is a requirement if you're
Yeah.
going to do
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I smoke, therefore I am.
You lost me.
That's okay. Well, thank you all.
Is that a Lord of the Rings reference?
I am, therefore
Probably.
I smoke.
All right, you guys ready for 11Zs?
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's do it.
always.
Always.
Second breakfast.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thanks for
Yeah.
another year. We'll
And to
see you
all
next
again-
year.
Next year, guys.
And to all a good pipe.